Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you a coin that you may or may not have heard of before. This is a 1875 S 20-cent piece, and these were minted between 1875 and 1878. There was about 1.3 million of these minted in 1875 between the Philly, the Carson City, and the San Francisco Mint. There were about 24,000 minted in 1876. And the numbers for the 1877 and 78 are kind of hard to know. They're kind of unknown. There's only about a dozen of each, or maybe a couple of dozen known of the 77 and 78. Those were proof only, and they were almost all melted down except the few that got out of the mint. So if you get one of the 1878, 1877 ones, that's like retirement money. That's six figures. This right here is about $100 to $150 coin. And I just wanted to do a quick video showing this coin off before I flip it and list it on eBay, and talk about why it exists and why it was made and why it has a smooth edge and not a reeded edge like all the other coins. So let's get into it. So why were they minted? Well, in the 1850s to 1880s, during westward expansion, there was a coin shortage, mainly in the West. The Coinage Act of 1873 demonetized silver and made it only legal tender up to $5. It also removed the half dime and 3-cent silver. In the East and the Midwest, a lot of people were switching to banknotes, which included even fractional dollar banknotes. But banknotes weren't trusted in the West. During the free banking era, which was around the same time, anyone could start a bank, print a bunch of banknotes, use them to buy things, and then open a branch in a hard-to-reach location so that no one would come to cash them in for gold and silver. These are called wildcat notes. When it came to the West, they demanded gold and silver. Also, government payments in gold and silver had been suspended during the economic crisis caused by the Civil War, so coins containing precious metals were hoarded in the East, but not the West. In the West, silver coinage was preferred. They usually did not accept any copper or nickel coins other than the 1 cent. They did not like the 2 cent or the 3-cent nickel. They preferred the half dime, which had just been discontinued in 1873. So with silver coinage still being legal tender for amounts under $5, they preferred silver coinage over anything else. They liked the 3-cent piece, the half dime, the dimes, the quarters, and half dollars. In 1874, hundreds of common items were priced at 10 cents, and those paying with a quarter would be shortchanged. They would usually only get a dime or even a Spanish real, which is worth about 12.5 cents. Half dimes were becoming hard to find in circulation, and it was becoming increasingly difficult to get the correct change from a quarter. So the newly elected Nevada Senator John P. Jones pressed for a 20-cent piece. He stated it would alleviate the shortage for the small change in the West. So with the price of silver dropping due to the demonetization, he thought it would also help the miners by requiring the Treasury to buy a little extra silver to mint the coins. Before the 20-cent piece was minted, the Spanish 2 real took its place. From colonial times up until 1857, Spanish coins were interchangeable with U.S. coins, especially the 1 and 2 real. And in the West, due to coin shortages, they remained in circulation a little bit longer. The 20-cent piece only lasted for about 2 years, but it wasn't the first time it was considered. Thomas Jefferson proposed it in 1783, but the quarter won. And in 1806, a Connecticut Senator, Uriah Tracy, introduced a 2-cent and a double dime, or a 20-cent piece, but those didn't pass either. And although the mint gave the 20-cent piece a smooth rim rather than a reeded one, like the quarter, so people could tell the difference between the two, people still got them confused. So people still thought that the 20-cent piece was a quarter, and now the merchants were getting shortchanged. The smooth edge was also not popular. No one liked them, and only about 1.1 to 1.3 were actually circulated. Today, the 1875 coins are worth about $100 to $500, depending on condition and the mint. The 1875 S is by far the most common, even though all of them are rare. The 1876 coins are worth way much more, but the 1877 and 78, those are six-figure coins. And one last thing, if you're wondering what this is around the rim, around the eagle of the coin, that's tarnish that's caused by a reaction, a chemical reaction to hydrogen sulfide, the kind of stuff that smells like eggs. And I don't know how this coin got that exposed for that long, but that kind of tarnish is called silver sulfite. And I actually have a 37S that is worse. So it's kind of weird. It's like a real slick, hard kind of surface. It almost feels like an epoxy that grew, that kind of dried up. But that is just a chemical reaction with hydrogen sulfide. So I don't know how this coin got exposed to hydrogen sulfide for that long, but that's what it is. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe. I'll be going more into depth in my gold and silver and fiat courses I'm working on. So if you haven't been following those, please do. I'll put a link in the top right corner. I want to make the most in-depth playlist on YouTube when it comes to gold and silver coins. And I'll be covering everything from the start, 1792, all the way to 1964, maybe a little bit further on. But that's the areas I'm going to focus on. But thanks again, and see you later. Bye.